From here, it looks like a beer tap.
Well, it was certainly something else. And I won't say what it did or what it really was used for, but you can find that out in the museum.
Okay, let's keep it there. My next guest has landed into studio with some odd bits, which we wouldn't have expected anything less, because he has quite a collection of weird and wonderful items. And now, I'm sure, much thanks to his mam's relief, he has moved them out of her attic and he is sharing them with the city. It is the new Museum of Curiosities. Good morning, Paul Mangan.
Good morning. Thanks
How
for
are
having me
you
on.
today?
Very good.
Good. So how long has the museum been open?
It's just been open 1 month. We just opened just over a month ago now.
Okay, on Pembroke Street.
Yeah.
And for those of us that do not know, what is a Museum of Curiosities? What are the rules and regulations? Is it just the weirder and the oddest stuff? How do you go about collecting everything?
Well, it's basically my personal collection of oddities and curiosities. I've been collecting weird stuff all my life. So I'm 40 now, definitely 20 years of collecting, 10 years of solid collecting, 5 years of manic collecting. There's no real rules. Like, some of it's very old stuff. Like, I have stuff going back to the 17th century, but I also have stuff from the 1990s. So it's like everything and anything, as long as it's weird, is welcome in my museum.
As long as it's weird. So how do you curate it? Because it's obviously a small enough space. You can't get everything in. Is it the same that you have to kind of to give the person the experience of walking through the door? Is it about kind of going on a journey?
Yeah, there is an element of a journey. There's 2 rooms downstairs and a big room upstairs. There's some vague themes, like in the smaller room downstairs. There's kind of Victorian curiosities, things like dolls and devils, household objects. Whereas upstairs we have all the weird medical devices, all these quack medical devices that were supposed to give you like the perfect nose or a cure for baldness, that kind of thing.
Brilliant. You see, this is totally up my street. And how did you get into it? Have you always been weird, but have you always collected weird things?
There's nothing more difficult to explain than how you became weird. I guess I was always interested in weird stuff and
when you say weird stuff, are you talking like, were you into horror and that sort of genre?
Yeah, I watched a lot of horror films, probably from too early an age, and then I went to the Natural History Museum a lot as a kid as well, so that obviously had a big influence on me.
Okay.
There's plenty of weird taxidermy in the museum. I have a particular fascination with the kind of ugly, bad taxidermy. So, the ones that nobody else wants, like a fox with a wonky eye or something with a missing leg, etc.
Okay, and can we talk about your mum? Because you were hoarding a lot of this stuff in her attic in Finglas. Is she, like, what does she think of all this? Was that a kind of an interest for her as well? Or does she just go, Jesus, Paul, would you ever go and be an accountant?
Do you know what's funny about it is because she doesn't like taxidermy, and I said to her a while ago, like, well, why were you bringing me to the dead zoo all the time when I was a kid? And she said,
so it's her fault.
Yeah, and she was like, well, it was somewhere to bring you, and it was free. So, what does she think?
There's
of
parents
it?
recoiling now about the plans next week to go to the Natural History Museum.
Well, we had someone a family in the other day, and they said, thanks to you, now my kids believe in mermaids. So.
Oh, listen, I'll take that. I was interested reading your background as well, because you are a musician as well. You're a travelling musician, and you played with a group called the Monsieur Pompier Travelling Freakshow.
That's right, yeah.
So you guys have played Electric Picnic.
Yeah, we've done Electric Picnic all together now, and we played abroad a good bit. That's basically like my cabaret / circus rock band project thing, and it sort of relates to the museum in a sense. This is like, I'm Monsieur Pompier in the act, and this is his museum now. So this is the kind of evolution of the wacky band.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about the band. Like, what sort of music? Are you all in character and in costume? And
yeah, so
great.
I'm kind of dressed up like a weird marching band leader, and then I have all these weird characters dancing around, interacting with the audience. Like, one of the characters, all the songs are about different characters. One of the characters is called Banana Boy, so every time Banana Boy does something bold, a banana grows where his finger had been, for example.
Okay. Have you read a book called The Night Circus by any chance? It's Eric Morgenstern. I read it a couple of weeks ago, and you are totally
familiar.
reminding me.
Yeah, definitely
you have to read it. It's a brilliant book. It's about a travelling circus and all of the kind of the weird stuff that happens between the characters. It is a brilliant read.
That sounds right up my
It would be right up your street, my friend. So, okay, tell us, try to explain for the listeners. I can see what's sitting in front of me, which is a weird looking squirrel yoke in a rocking chair with an old phone.
So this thing is inexplicably titled the telephone rabbit, and it doesn't look much like a rabbit. It was a 1950s toy from Japan, and I brought this in because a lot of people ask me, like, where do I get all my stuff? They think it comes from every far corner of the world, but I actually just got this in the Phibsborough flea market, so quite local. And I won't turn it on right now because it makes an ear-piercing sound.
Oh,
And,
go on. No, do.
Are you sure? Yeah. Okay, well,
hold on. I have to take my headphones off.
and its mouth moves in an extremely uncanny way. Get ready for this.
Oh,
Very strange looking
that is
toy.
brilliant. That is brilliant. So she's putting the phone up to her ear, but it actually is hitting her very weird, piercing blue eyes.
Yeah, it's definitely
Okay, so you
uncanny.
got that in the Phibsborough market.
Yeah.
What's that weird S&M looking device there? What
Well, this is Dr. McCurra's blood circulator. So this was a quack medical device from the early 20th century. Dr. McCurra was actually an Irish guy. He wasn't actually a doctor, though. He just claimed to be one.
Right.
And this device was supposed to cure everything from heart disease to hemorrhoids to writer's cramp, but it didn't do any of those things.
From here, it looks like a beer tap.
Well, it was certainly something else. And I won't say what it did or what it really was used for, but you can find that out in the museum.
Okay, let's keep it there. And finally, what's that weird kind of scissors?
So this
that look
this
like?
looks like a torture device or
Yes.
some kind of very brutal pair of scissors. But I often use this as the mystery item, so I ask people to guess what it is. Any thoughts yourself, Kathryn?
I'm not sure. What would it be? Something. It's obviously something to slice your finger off with, is it?
It's quite mundane, actually. It's just for opening eggs. It's just for taking the top off a boiled egg. But it looks like a torture device. Everything back in the Victorian times had to look strangely sinister.
Have you been to Transylvania?
I haven't. I've been to Romania, but I haven't gone to Transylvania
You need
yet.
a trip to Transylvania as well. So you need to read The Night Circus and you need to book yourself a trip to Transylvania. I'd highly recommend
That's where
it.
I belong.
That's where you belong. So tell us about the museum. When is it open?
So we're open Wednesday to Sunday from 11 till 7.
Yeah, sounds like a brilliant couple of way to spend a few hours and right in the middle of town as well. Listen, wish you the best of luck with it, Paul. Thanks a
very
million for coming in. It is the museum, the new Museum of Curiosities, and a great new addition to the Dublin Museum circuit, in my opinion.